Amaterasu Omikami, the primary deity of Shinto, functions as the cosmic mechanism governing light, warmth, and time. Her existence is not merely symbolic, it is the operational source of the Japanese imperial mandate. The Emperor of Japan is traditionally considered a direct descendant, establishing a continuous divine link between the high plane of heaven, Takamagahara, and the earthly realm. This lineage mechanism ensures the stability of the state, as the emperor acts as the chief priest, mediating between the kami and the people. Amaterasu was born from the purification ritual of the primordial deity Izanagi, specifically emerging from his left eye when he cleansed himself after visiting the underworld. This birth established her supremacy over the cosmos, placing her above her siblings Tsukuyomi, the moon god, and Susanoo, the storm god, who emerged from his right eye and nose, respectively. Her domain, Takamagahara, is the spiritual center from which all divine authority flows. The birth of Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo defines the Mihashira no Uzunomiko, the three noble children, marking the transition from chaotic creation to structured divinity. Izanagi's purification, known as misogi, was necessary to remove the pollution of Yomi, the land of the dead. This act of ritual cleansing is the foundational template for Shinto purity practices. Amaterasu's emergence from the left eye signifies her role as the bringer of light and order, contrasting sharply with the destructive potential of her brother Susanoo. While Tsukuyomi was assigned to rule the night, Amaterasu was given the mandate over the sun and the celestial realm. The immediate separation of their domains established the fundamental dualism of light and darkness within the Shinto cosmology, setting the stage for the inevitable conflict that would test the stability of the newly formed universe.
Susanoo's refusal to accept his assigned domain over the seas led to his banishment and subsequent destructive rampage across Takamagahara. His actions directly challenged Amaterasu's established cosmic order. He committed several acts of pollution, including destroying rice fields and defiling the sacred weaving hall where Amaterasu's attendants prepared divine garments. The most egregious act involved throwing a flayed pony into the hall, resulting in the death of a weaver. These actions represent the intrusion of chaos and impurity into the realm of purity and light. Amaterasu, unable to tolerate this defilement and the resulting disruption of her governance, retreated into the celestial rock cave, Ama-no-Iwato. This retreat was not merely an emotional reaction, but a mechanical withdrawal of the solar function, plunging the entire cosmos into darkness and chaos. Amaterasu's retreat into Ama-no-Iwato caused immediate and catastrophic failure of the world system. Crops failed, evil spirits emerged, and the distinction between day and night vanished. The other kami recognized that the restoration of light required luring Amaterasu out, as forcing her would violate her divine autonomy. They devised a complex ritual mechanism to achieve this. The kami gathered outside the cave, performing a divination ritual using deer shoulder blades and cherry bark. They constructed a sacred sakaki tree, adorning it with the Yata no Kagami mirror and the Yasakani no Magatama jewel. These objects served as powerful divine lures, reflecting Amaterasu's own essence and power.
The core of the restoration ritual involved the goddess Ame-no-Uzume performing a provocative, trance-inducing dance on an overturned tub. This performance, characterized by its ecstatic nature, caused the assembled kami to erupt in laughter. Amaterasu, hearing the unexpected merriment outside her refuge, became curious about the source of the joy despite the world's darkness. When she slightly opened the cave entrance, the kami presented the Yata no Kagami, claiming it was a superior deity. Amaterasu, seeing her own radiant reflection in the mirror, was momentarily distracted by her own brilliance. The kami, seizing the opportunity, pulled her out and immediately sealed the cave entrance with a sacred rope, the Shimenawa, preventing any future retreat. This event established the precedent for ritual performance and sacred objects as tools for interacting with and managing divine power. With cosmic order restored, Amaterasu focused on establishing permanent rule on Earth. She commanded her grandson, Ninigi no Mikoto, to descend from Takamagahara to the Japanese islands, specifically to Mount Takachiho in Kyushu. This event, known as Tenson Korin, formalized the divine mandate for earthly governance. Amaterasu provided Ninigi with 3 sacred objects, the Imperial Regalia, as proof of his divine authority and legitimacy. She instructed him that the land of Japan was to be ruled by her descendants forever. This transfer of authority ensured that the imperial line would always possess the spiritual power necessary to maintain harmony between the human and divine realms. The descent marked the end of the Age of the Gods and the beginning of the Age of Humans under divine rule.
The three Imperial Regalia, the Sanshu no Jingi, are the physical mechanisms that validate the emperor's position. The Yata no Kagami, the sacred mirror, represents Amaterasu's soul and honesty, serving as a proxy for the goddess herself. It is housed at the Ise Grand Shrine. The Yasakani no Mabatama, the curved jewel, symbolizes benevolence and fertility, often associated with life force and creation. The Kusanagi no Tsurugi, the grass-cutting sword, represents valor and military authority, originally obtained by Susanoo after slaying the eight-headed serpent Yamata no Orochi. These three objects are not merely symbols, they are considered living kami, essential for the enthronement ceremony. The possession of all three regalia is the absolute requirement for imperial legitimacy, ensuring that the ruler is spiritually aligned with Amaterasu's mandate. The Imperial Lineage, Koshitsu, traces its origin directly from Ninigi through his great-grandson Jimmu Tenno, the legendary first emperor of Japan. Jimmu's establishment of the capital in Yamato formalized the divine rule structure. The concept of an unbroken line, dating back over 2,600 years, is fundamental to the Shinto understanding of the state. This continuity is maintained through specific rituals and the transmission of the regalia. The emperor's role is primarily ritualistic, ensuring the spiritual well-being of the nation through ceremonies like the Nina Meisai, the harvest festival, where the emperor shares the new rice with the kami. This mechanism reinforces the belief that the prosperity of the nation is directly tied to the emperor's successful mediation with Amaterasu.
Amaterasu is primarily enshrined at the Ise Grand Shrine, specifically the Naiku, or inner shrine. This shrine is considered the most sacred site in Shinto, housing the Yata no Kagami. The architecture of Ise is unique, adhering to the ancient Yuitsu Shinmei-zukuri style, characterized by unpainted cypress wood and thatched roofs. The most critical mechanism of Ise is the Shikinen Sengu, the ritual rebuilding of the shrine structures every 20 years. This process involves constructing identical new shrines on adjacent plots, transferring the kami and the sacred objects, and then dismantling the old structures. This 20-year cycle ensures the perpetual renewal of the divine presence, maintaining architectural purity and transmitting ancient building techniques across generations. The Sengu ritual is a physical manifestation of eternal renewal and purity. Amaterasu's influence extends beyond ancient mythology, remaining a core element of Japanese national identity and state symbolism. Her solar mechanism is reflected in the national flag, the Hinomaru, representing the rising sun. While the emperor's divine status was formally renounced after World War II, the spiritual and ritual connection to Amaterasu remains intact through the continuation of the imperial rituals and the maintenance of the Ise Shrine. The goddess embodies the concept of purity, light, and the ordered cosmos, serving as the ultimate source of legitimacy for the nation's spiritual and historical narrative. Understanding Amaterasu is essential for grasping the foundational structure of Japanese governance and religious practice.